Shots have now officially. Now it's all over. He might be. He's got legs.
He sits at the top of the pound-for-pound list. He's knocked out legends. He holds 2 UFC titles in different weight classes, and he did it all in just 3 years. Welcome to the story of Ilia Topuria, a fighter with freakish talent, a man who made the impossible look easy. Today, we're going to take you on the fastest speed run to the top the UFC has ever seen. Grab a drink, sit back, and get ready to be blown away. Let's dive into the wild journey of El Matador, born for greatness. Ilia Topuria wasn't just another guy chasing a UFC dream. He came into the fight game with purpose, passion, and pressure. Born in Germany to Georgian parents and raised in Spain, Ilia's roots are as tough as they come. From a young age, he knew what he wanted. He said it loud and clear. When people talk about MMA, I want them to mention my name. He fought his way through Brave CF and Cage Warriors, where he didn't just win, he dominated. 8 straight finishes, each more brutal than the last. Dana White and UFC matchmakers couldn't ignore him anymore. Ilia wasn't just a brawler, he was special. UFC debut. In 2020, Ilia got his shot on the big stage. His UFC debut was quiet. No knockout, no post-fight drama. But he secured the win, and that's all he needed to get his foot in the door. His second fight, a whole different story. Damon Jackson stood across from him, and Ilia didn't wait around. He let his hands fly. Body shots, hooks, uppercuts, pure chaos. Jackson dropped like a tree falling in the forest. That finish? Highlight reel material. From that point, everyone knew. Ilia Topuria was not here to mess around. Building a name. 3 straight UFC finishes. Ryan Hall? Gone. Jai Herbert? Knocked out cold. The UFC had a rising star, but they weren't ready to push him all the way to the top just yet. Dana White played the long game. Slow build-up, gradual exposure, but Ilia wasn't waiting. He wanted greatness now, so he created it. He got into a beef with Paddy Pimblett. Why? Because Paddy insulted Georgian fighters, calling them boring. Ilia wasn't having it. He confronted Paddy at the hotel, called him out at the press conference. Social media exploded. Sure, it was risky, but it worked. The hate, the hype, the heat. It all made Ilia even more popular. Everyone wanted to see him fight, destroying Bryce Mitchell. When the Bryce Mitchell fight was announced, fans expected a war. Mitchell was undefeated, tough, gritty, but Ilia made it look easy. He knocked Bryce down, controlled him on the ground, and then choked him out. A full-on MMA clinic. Commentators were stunned. This wasn't just another win. This was Ilia's loudest statement yet. He wasn't just a star. He was a force. Enter the spotlight. Ilia now had fans, finishes, and flair. Dana White saw shades of another young star, Conor McGregor. Confident, powerful, charismatic. So the UFC put him in a headliner slot, UFC on ABC5, Ilia Topuria versus Josh Emmett. 5 rounds. No mistakes. Ilia dominated from start to finish. Clean scorecards. 50-44, 50-42, and 49-45. Ilia had arrived. There were no more questions. Taking down the featherweight king. Now it was time for the big one. Alexander Volkanovski. The man, the legend, the featherweight king. Ilia called his shot. I'm better than him everywhere. People thought he was cocky, but he proved them wrong. In the Octagon, Ilia showcased pure dominance. His timing was perfect, his power unmatched. Volk couldn't take the heat. One vicious knockout later, Ilia was the new UFC featherweight champion, going for double gold. But Ilia wasn't done. He wanted more. He wanted to be a 2-division champ. He called out Islam Makhachev. But Islam was moving up, so the UFC gave him the next biggest name, Charles Oliveira. the Brazilian submission artist, the former champion. Dangerous on the ground and deadly on the feet, Ilia didn't blink. He walked in calm and knocked Charles out in the first round. Ilia Topuria, UFC champion in 2 weight classes. Just like that, top of the world. In 3 years, Ilia Topuria became one of the greatest fighters in the sport. Volkanovski? Knocked out. Charles Oliveira? Knocked out. Max Holloway? In the next one.